Kirsty, you are a champion of youth voices in many ways. In the international climate agreements, we've talked about governance. You've been pushing for the voice of young people to be part of the institutional vehicles and arrangements. And you've now started an initiative called Think 2050 that you're going to talk about a bit about right now. But my question is think about the afternoon when all of us will be getting together in three groups. One of them will be culture, will be symbolism. What sort of things would you like to see happen, or one thing that you would like to see happen between now and 2012 that really engages young people, mobilizes young people to the sort of things that Leonardo is talking about?
Thank you very much. Alejandro, is the microphone okay? So, buenos días. Mi nombre es Kirsty y en el año 2050 voy a tener 66 años. La primera vez que fui a la ONU como vocera de la juventud, sentí que mi voz no era escuchada. El cambio climático y la sostenibilidad son muy importantes para los jóvenes y las generaciones futuras. Ahora, conecto a organizaciones de jóvenes con gobiernos. So thank you very much for that. I hope it made a little bit of sense, and thank you very much to Alejandra and Rosa for translating this for me. I don't speak any Spanish, I speak French, so hopefully it translated okay. So thank you very much for inviting me to come and speak to you about what I do. So as you heard there, I try and bring the voice of young people to the government decision-making table. So after going to UN conferences, COP14, COP15, and trying to engage with our country delegations, young people felt very frustrated still. They felt like their voice was not being heard, and not only that, but they were being ignored, pushed to the sidelines. So this year, with the UK government, we have set up a program called the Youth Advisory Panel, and this panel of young people meets with the government department on energy and climate change to talk about what young people want to see in terms of the decisions made about their future. And that's part of the initiative Think 2050, so we're encouraging people to think about the year 2050 for young and future generations to safeguard our future. And what we did was we focused on energy, and for the last 6 months, we traveled around the country in England and we visited power stations, wind farms, solar panel plants, places that were reducing energy, electric car manufacturers, to try and understand what energy is, how it affects young people, and what young people want to see from our decision makers. And we produced our first report. It is called Energy, How Fair Is It Anyway? So underpinning everything that we do is this idea of fairness. How can a decision made today by our governments, by our leaders, by those who are part of the governmental system, how are those decisions going to impact on the young and future generations? And so now this has been formally submitted to government, and the government will be responding in 2 or 3 months' time. And now what we want to have is a global conversation. We want other young people around the world to think about ways that they can engage with their governments. I was very interested to hear from Ms. Silva about this idea of new politics. And I think young people understand social networking, social media, all being involved in the politics of today. And I think that possibly this is one practical example of how this can work. To answer your question specifically, I think young people sometimes feel that they're not being listened to, and that is confused with being apathetic. So sometimes we are told that we are apathetic. And what I say is that actually it's not that there is apathy amongst young people, it's this sense of being ignored. And if we together can provide an opportunity for young people to have a voice and to be engaged, then I think there will no longer be any apathy. It will be about becoming involved, collaborating with their decision makers, and really moving forward to this idea of the new politics and safeguarding our own futures together. Thank you very much.